What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from the Quartering. It's been a wild day. There's not a lot of new stuff going on, but there's something to say about a few longer term topics, including Joe Rogan and the continued discussion from mainstream media on whether or not he deserves to live, essentially. And there's something pretty interesting about watching two multi-millionaire Hollywood elites discuss whether or not they think Joe Rogan should have a platform. People like Arie and Trevor Noah, although Trevor Noah probably more closely aligns to a member of the elite. I don't know how wealthy Arie is. She is a Grammy Award-winning R&B singer, but she's not quite the media. She keeps using Joe's name for clout. Let's be honest. Neil Young online streams after he said that he was going to pull his music from Spotify increased by 38%. Do you think Neil Young really cared about pulling his music from Spotify over what Joe Rogan had to say? Or did his publicist say, this would be a great idea. Let's get 1,000 articles written about you and remind all those boomers that you're still alive and that your music is able to be played on that digital computer box. And probably the same thing for Arie, but it's been pretty funny. And Trevor Noah's out there now trying to appear like he's reaching across the aisle. I suppose we're going to have to see if he actually follows through. I don't know if you saw this, but he actually DM'd Steven Crowder and said that he would want to talk to him. I just don't think that's ever going to happen. I applaud the effort if it happens, but there's no chance Trevor Noah goes on Steven Crowder's show. It's just not going to happen. And you know, I highly doubt the Daily Show would host Steven Crowder either. It's just not going to happen. So it feels like one of those things like, hey, if I ever win $1 million, I'll buy you a car, things that people say. But guess what? A lot of the artists that said they were going to pull their music, like Arie, have not pulled their music, cannot pull their music. Arie wants to yank her music off Spotify, but her label won't let her. Frustrated with Joe Rogan's language around race, the Grammy-winning R&B singer tried to get her album scrubbed from Spotify and was unable to. Now, the question would be, one question I would have, and I don't know if we could ever really know the answer, is that if she knew that in the first place. If she knew that she didn't have control over her music anyway, and when she said it, she knew she was never going to have anything to lose at all. I don't know. I don't know what her personal financial situation is. I'm not saying that every decision everybody makes is money driven, but I would argue that most people in Hollywood, that's probably the case. It's been close to 3 weeks since Neil Young announced his plan to remove his music from Spotify due to their support of Joe Rogan. And Arie, an R&B veteran with a handful of Grammys and nearly a dozen radio hits, kicked down the door that Young had cracked open and said that she finds Joe Rogan problematic for other reasons than his coof interviews. She wrote on Instagram, "For me, it's also his language around race. Spotify pays musicians a fraction of a penny," which is what this is all really about, in my opinion, "while lavishing Rogan with $100 million. Geez, I thought you said it wasn't about money, Jeremy. I guess I don't know what I was thinking. Of course it was about money. It's always about money. These people don't care about the struggle anymore. You think Trevor Noah, who's worth $50 million and lives in like a $20 million home, do you think that he has any idea what the struggle's like anymore? This dude has been rich and living amongst the elites for years in California, all right? This dude is not living in some podunk town in the South. This dude has probably never been to the Midwest outside of an empty tour event once or twice. He doesn't know what real people are like other than his coastal elites. So he doesn't have any idea what he's talking about. You mean he's talking where he's coming from in South Africa, where he left? Okay, maybe we could talk about some problems there, except it goes the other way, but I mean, that would be inconvenient. So, no, Arie has not removed her music even after saying she would. And now she calls Joe Rogan consciously racist and says his fans are sending her mean things. Well, they shouldn't be. But also, you're going to have to show some receipts of that. And you're going to have to show that you know, this is that whole dumb narrative run by just low IQ people in the media that she, first of all, picked the fight, right? Then she got blowback, and now she is the canceller, by the way. She's the one that posted an out of context video of him every time he'd ever said the N-word and used it to stir up outrage in an attempt to get him removed from the platform, okay? She's the one that did that. Joe Rogan didn't say anything about her. So now that people are pissed at her, suddenly she's like, why is everybody mad at me? And by the way, I guarantee Joe Rogan, just like me, would never condone that kind of stuff. There are people that criticize me. There are people that make, videos about me. I don't even respond to them because they're just pointless and they're not coming from a place of good faith. But also many times that's just all they want. And then they want to say that, his fans, came to defend him. Look, people do what they're going to do. If anybody says anything to India Arie, that's on them. And the fact that they're just tying it to his fans. How do you know it's his fan? Did they say, hello, I'm a fan of Joe Rogan and I hate you? You don't know that. They could just be anarchist trolls. Although Rogan apologized, Arie said, when I go deeper and ask myself what I really think from a commitment to truth that I've made this last year, what I really think is that he was being consciously racist, and it makes me wonder what he talks like behind closed doors. So his apology wasn't enough. Right? His apology wasn't enough, and you don't have any evidence of him really actually being racist. So you're just going to say, well, he must do it when nobody's watching. I can't prove that, but I must. I don't think he fully understands what he did, Arie said. If you want to really lead your listeners down a new path and lead them to the point where they don't feel like it's the right language to come in my DMs and call me the N-word in defense of him. Again, you don't know that it's his fans. You don't know. I don't know why they're in your DMs. Are your DMs open? I doubt it. I'm not saying no one said it, but if you're going to make those kind of claims and you're going to use those claims to smear Joe Rogan, perhaps share a tiny bit of context. A few receipts, if you may. And then you have this conversation between Trevor Noah and India Arie, who totally don't want to cancel him, but won't shut up about a mistake he made 12 years ago, right? Trevor Noah literally said this in this interview. Well, I want people to have a path to redemption because me, Trevor Noah, the narrative controller, wants to seem like I'm just not an idiot. No, Trevor Noah, you don't want people to have paths to redemption. Stop lying. You guys are up there huffing your own farts, acting like you've never made a mistake. Remember your jokes about Jewish people, Trevor Noah? Remember that? But you never bring that up, do you? What if I made you constantly apologize for that? Now, I guess I'm not Jewish, so I probably couldn't, but I have Jewish friends, and I can ask them to be offended on my behalf and constantly demand apologies from you, Trevor Noah. Is that the system you want? You can't sit up there on your TV show, by the way, in front of your 75 viewers and say, well, I just think we have to forgive, but also tell me again about why he's racist, India Arie. Yes, we must find a path to redemption. I don't think he's an evil man. But tonight on the Trevor Noah Show, is Joe Rogan the literal devil? You don't get to have it both ways. I know people think you're intellectual. Your viewers think that you're this weird deity, an arbiter of morality, but you're really not. You're just you even said in this, I don't take part in cancel culture. Bro, yes, you do. You're literally doing it right now. You know how many other things you could be covering instead of Joe Rogan's stupid comments from 12 years ago, but you choose not to, Trevor Noah. You choose to feign outrage because it gets you clicks. You choose that. You could be covering, I don't know, the Clinton stuff. How about that? How about the trucker convoy? How about the highest inflation in 1 billion years? How about all of the things going on around the planet? But no, Trevor Noah, you can't shut up about Joe Rogan. So get out of here with your sanctimonious crap about how you're just above it and you're looking to a way to... You think Joe Rogan cares if Trevor Noah forgives him? You think he really cares, Trevor? And then you have the audacity to get upset when Mediaite, which is kind of a garbage website, India Arie calls Joe Rogan repeated use of the N-word consciously racist. He did. That's like a literal quote from your show. What does Trevor Noah say? What the F? She also said she doesn't hate Joe Rogan. That's not what the article says. Does the headline say India Arie says he hates Joe Rogan? So this is a straw man. She also said we need a path to redemption. She said it's a complex issue. Stop using clickbait to make people angrier and hate each other. Bro, you're doing the same freaking thing. Don't you see that? Do you live in such a bubble that you can't see that? It's mind-blowing that you can't see that. Well, you said, and by the way, you updated Steven Crowder. You said you told Steven Crowder a few days ago, you said, why aren't you talking to me? Can I come on and talk? Okay. Do I think he'll actually come on your show? I hope so. If you really believe that you want to bridge the gap, then you have to reach across the aisles. I don't know how open to giving way Steven Crowder will be, but he should be. He should be more forgiving than he should be more malleable than maybe he thinks he should be. Because that's the only way you get to healing. Or we could just not talk about this word a guy said a dozen years ago, and we could go on to worry about actual things. Maybe that's the solution, instead of dwelling on everybody's past mistakes. Perhaps that's how you bring people together. Hope you enjoyed this video. We'll talk to you again real soon.